Hello everyone, and thank you all for tuning in to another Black Unicorn Red Pill production. Today's video, Feminists and MGTOW, incredibly selfish and incredibly foolish. Please stay tuned as we discuss this in greater detail. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I just want to give great thanks and praises to everyone who subscribes, likes, and comments. Let me know what other videos you want to see as we continue to discuss the MGTOWs, the feminists, and the many barriers philosophically we will encounter on our journeys to become Black unicorns and those that we may encounter along the way. I'm making the case today that both feminists and MGTOW men are selfish, short-sighted, and selling themselves short as compared to those who stick to their role, the masculine men and the feminine women who also marry each other and produce families. That is the comparing point. So how is this the case? More often than not, what a lot of what feminism promotes and eschews is that women have the right and should be promoted and accepted in pretty much looking however they want to look, acting however they want to act, and doing whatever they want to do, and should still receive support, reward, perfect equal pay and treatment as compared to men, and of course love, sex, and marriage from men, if that's what the woman wants. So the idea here is, as a, let's say, 22-year-old single woman, if you are a feminist, you can dye your hair purple and shave off one side, get a septum nose ring, 4 piercings in your ear, tattoos all over your body, gain 50 pounds from whatever weight you already were, wear whatever kind of clothing you want to wear because your body is beautiful. Use birth control, have all kinds of sex, have abortions if and as needed. And when you reach, say, 30, if you want to marry, you should be able to get the same top tier, high quality man that you would have been able to get, or you were able to get at 22 before you shaved your head, dyed your hair, and did all those other things, right? And the idea is that if, as a young lady, you want a formal education, if you want to pursue a career, you should be able to do it. If you want to go out on a girls trip with just your friends, even while you're married, you should be able to. You shouldn't have to give up your personal career just to have a family, right? I'd rather be a rebel than a slave. And you're rebelling against the notion that you need to look a certain way, dress a certain way, talk or act a certain way to be desirable and to be ladylike, to be a woman. And that slavery is conforming to these standards, the standards of what men find beautiful, and standards of femininity, of being a feminine woman. Conversely, what should I say, as well, MGTOW eschews something quite similar. It says, men, you do not need to, pay for dates, take these women out, go to the courthouse to marry them, protect yourself before all else. Don't you dare go out here and get a marriage license, sign birth certificates. You should not be out here buying a gal even a $10 3-piece whitening and fries at the local carryout until she's come over and given you sex at least twice, right? That you need to leave, protect yourself. We're living in a matriarchy and a gynocracy that's run by these feminists, and that you should hold out for slim, hot virgins and still don't marry them. Go to another country to get a woman. Don't get a woman at all. Just get prostitutes, get sex dolls, or just learn how to not for sex, not need for sex, get your own money, go to the gym, and do your own thing. Both sides are overwhelmingly selfish, self-absorbed, and incredibly short-sighted, as compared to the masculine man who is seeking to be a husband, provider, and protector of his family, pursuing his family lineage, his goals. Any feminine, submissive woman who is married to her masculine man, who is nurturing her family, being a housewife, stay-at-home mother, and focusing on nurturing greatness and the family's goals. The feminist and the MGTOW are equal in their levels of absolute selfishness and short-sightedness. And here's why. If you haven't already guessed it, what about your life on that last third and beyond? You see, our life is more or less in three parts. You have your up to 30, which is your youth, your 30 to 60, which is your adulthood, and your 60 to the end, which is your decline, your rest. And it is extremely short-sighted to spend your youth and your adulthood just focused on me, what I want to do, and being single, when you're going to have your decline. What happens in your decline? And more importantly, how are you going to live after you die? And what are you going to leave for those who are going to come after you? Where will everything that you've built go, if you're even building? Now you see, the feminists, they're not really trying to build much of anything. I challenge anyone to talk to your typical, let's say 25-year-old, 22, 25-year-old, even a 35-year-old feminist woman. Especially those hardcore, ardent feminists, the staunch feminist, everything they wear all the time, tripping feminism. I challenge you and all of my listeners to ask one of them, what is their goal? What are they building? What is your plan for when you retire? What's your 60 and up plan? What about life after your death? Not just the metaphysical, but like your children, your grandchildren, even your nieces and nephews, your grandnieces and your grandnephews. What's your plan for them? Now you see, the thing is, it's an element of our femininity as women to generally not think too much about our future. We're not the best of planners, not all of us. So I wouldn't be too surprised if they really have never thought about that before and have no good answer to you. It doesn't give them a pass, however, because they need to answer. After you've made the entire world as feminist as you can, after you've made pay equal, benefits equal, after you've got women signing the selective service, and in every single way in which men had any opportunity or power over women, women have the equal amount of power over men and women as well. What is the end goal? And how do you plan to accomplish it? Well, now let's shift our focus to the MGTOW men. Same question, gentlemen. Especially for, let's say, the 30-year-old MGTOW man, single without children, no ex-wives, baby mama. And he said, I'm MGTOW. What is your plan for when you hit 60 and older? Who's going to be there for you? Who's going to take care of you? Who are you going to sit on the porch in your rocking chair with? Share a room in a nursing home? And who is going to be making your soups and your teas, getting your blanket? Who is going to be there for you? Especially for the men who have no children who are MGTOW. If you're truly about leaving all of us women alone, how will you get your children? How will you raise those children? What quality of their upbringing are they going to have? What about your legacy if you really won't have children? If you're out here building and you're grinding, having a career, making good money, what's going to happen to it all when you die? You will die. And especially for the MGTOW men, oftentimes there's this anti-society element. It's not just about going your own way away from women, but away from corporations, corporate structure, and just society on the whole, the government. But are you aware, Mr. MGTOW man, that if you die as a single man, your assets will be taken by the government? Your pension, if you had one, your retirement, everything that you have will be seized by the government. Now, unless you've got some family and you've made your paperwork well, next of kin, and they know where you are and what's going on, perhaps it'll go to them. But what about you and your DNA, your genes? You have no interest in passing them on? And if you do you truly understand just how much a child needs their mother, especially those first 5 years? That child needs their mother. You cannot do it without a woman, and not just any woman, but that child's biological mother. To cut her out is to abuse a child, but for her to be involved and for that child to get the best upbringing, you must be there as well. Children are biologically broken without their biological father in their home while they grow up, which means that Mr. MGTOW man, if you're going to have a legacy beyond this life, you're going to need a wife. And that's not too MGTOW now, is it? Unless it is. But when you start asking these questions, you start seeing these fallacies, and you start seeing how they're really quite similar to each other, for different reasons, of course. That is the feminists and the MGTOWs. These are people who believe that somehow the gender and sex element of society is imbalanced, and that they are going to adopt a strong philosophy to gain what they perceive to be as balance. And in the process of doing so, both of these groups are either alienating or being themselves alienated from the mating process, which is causing and will create and continue single parent culture, which is also just very selfish and very short-sighted. Feminists say, well, I should be able to look however I want, and a man should love me and treat me the same. That's just not how it is, though. That's just not how it works. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. What does happen is when you're fat, men pretty much don't really respect you and treat you very nice. When you're slim, they do. When your hair is long, they like it. When it's short, generally speaking, they don't. When your makeup is soft and nice and sweet, they like it. When it's harsh, they don't. That's just the way of things. And it is an act of self-interest as a woman to keep your weight down, keep your hair healthy and long, your face with a very light kiss of quality makeup, and so forth and so forth. Let's not forget your mouth, or should I say, all 2 sets of lips closed. Your mouth should be closed all of the time, except when you're asked to speak. And your lips between the hips should be closed for everyone all the time, except for your husband, for which they should be open all the time. That is what the feminine, submissive housewife does. She is focused. She says, I want a family. I want a happy, healthy family. I want a legacy that's going to last. I want my children to succeed. And in order for my babies to succeed, I gotta zip it. I gotta zip it and zip this dress up. It's a size 2. I'm gonna make it fit. That is self-interest. For the married masculine man, he says, I could just continue to party, go out with my friends, explore hobbies, rock climb, and of course, go out to parties and clubs and slay lots of women and get lots of sex. I could also just be out here making willy-nilly business deals, making money, losing money, living wherever I feel like, driving whatever I want. But you know what? I want to be like my grandpa. I want to be like my uncle or like my dad. I want to have my own children, my own family, my own lineage that's going to extend and live beyond my life for hundreds of years. And I want to make sure that what I have and have built goes to them. So I'm going to find me a high quality woman. I'm going to marry her. I'm going to work extra hard so that we have more money, so we can do what we can do. I want to get every promotion that I can so that we have more benefits, so that if any of my babies have any health needs, I can get those met. I'm going to really go out of my way to do everything that I can for my family and be self-interested neither selfish nor selfless, but self-interested. Yes, it involves a lot of sacrifice, but the sacrifice is on both sides. There's a very few women who are just born naturally slim, gorgeous, beautiful face, slim waist, hair that naturally grows very long, and so forth, and who are also raised to be feminine, submissive, and sweet. Those are rare. Just as men who are, let's say, physically attractive, but truly dominant, masculine, raised right, have resources, have money, can make money, and be successful. Those men are rare, who have it all together. Generally speaking, you're going to have to do some sacrificing. You're going to have to put others before yourself. And that's one thing we'll learn, and I hope you're learning and understanding with all these philosophical discussions by Black unicorns. This involves a lot of sacrifice on both sides. A modern woman gives up her opportunity for career, and she gives up a lot of autonomy and independence that is perfectly acceptable to have, as well as promiscuity, which is just good old-fashioned fun. She gives up on all of that for marriage, and she gains a lot. Same as the man, he gives up a lot of his freedom and ability to just, act as he chooses for the sake of his family. And so on both sides, to choose not to do that and to focus on, I want purple hair, or I just don't want to deal with child support, cowardly of both sides, and to a very real extent selfish. But I want to end here, and I want to give thanks to everyone for listening, tuning in to another Black Unicorn Red Pill production. We gotta work on our minds, everyone. Our mind is number one, and once we get that mind right, everything else will fall in order. So I give thanks to you all. Please rate, comment, and subscribe below. Let me know what you want me to do my next video on, and I will. Until then, I will see you another day. Ciao.